Was there ever a point when you're doing one of these where you were like, what am I doing?
Every time. Every time I'm like, what are you doing, Marissa? Why did you saddle yourself up for this? Being the first person to ever do this, everybody's like, oh, chomping at the bit. Is she? Isn't she? What is she going to do, you know? Will she? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. There's been a lot of what am I doing? It always comes down to the reason why I do it, which is every step is a step towards your goal of protecting lives.
Yo, what up, Charity Athletes? Today we have a really awesome episode. I am interviewing a woman named Marissa. And Marissa and I just met via, seeing jump rope content on Instagram. And I saw that she runs marathons, but she jumps rope the whole time. So she is the rope runner. That is her name. I had the pleasure of just sitting down and interviewing her. She has an awesome story to tell. Like, the fact that she even does jump rope in a marathon is crazy. But anyway, watch the interview. I just want to say thank you again for Marissa for coming on. All of her information is linked up below and somewhere on the screen here. Also pretty cool. She does these jump rope marathons or rope running marathons to help out. The cause that she helps out is human trafficking, which we talk about that on the podcast episode, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I had a really great time speaking to her. I think you guys will really enjoy this episode. And also just let me know who else you'd like me to interview. I was actually, as I was doing this episode, I was like thinking I should probably just try to interview all the people who are in the jump rope community, because there's a lot of interesting people out there doing really cool things with jump rope. So like I said, hope you guys enjoy this episode. Shout out Marissa for coming on, and let's get into it. We are in the studio and rocking. So before the gremlins come, let's ask Marissa some questions.
Yeah.
Marissa and I met just on Instagram through, jump rope and stuff. And then I started following what you do. And then we had exchanged some messages just about what you were doing. And I was like, wait a second, you jump rope marathons, and you are the absolute first person and only person that I've ever heard do this. So naturally, having a jump rope YouTube channel, I was like, I want to talk about this. So I think to start, I have some questions like prepared, but I kind of, instead of doing the typical like, hey, how'd you get started? I kind of wanted to just get right into it with like a question. How do other people react when you are about to start a marathon with a jump rope?
That's a good question. So they don't know what I'm going to do before I start. So I have organized with all the race directors, etc., to get a preferential head start so that I can kind of get going, shimmy to the side and get out of everybody's way so that the athletes that run past me can see me and they hear me coming, or they hear me. And it's worked quite well up until now. And I mean, I have done marathons and now have an ultra marathon under my belt, and I have not whacked anybody with my rope since then. So the reaction of the athletes and runners on the road and the supporters are phenomenal. People are flabbergasted at what I'm doing. They can't believe this person is this crazy. But yeah, it draws a heck of a lot of attention.
Yeah, that was going to be my other question. Like, do you ever hit people accidentally with the rope? But that's okay. So you have like a little bit of a process for when you get into a marathon.
Correct, yeah. I need to make sure that I dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and that my side is clean and that I adhere to the rules, because it's like this and somebody can say, sorry, we're not going to allow this. You've hurt too many people, or something happens. And I don't want to be that person that it happens on my watch. So I'll probably do everything that I can to make sure that I do it correctly, and that in that I get to achieve the goals that I've set out to do.
Well, it's super impressive what you're doing. And I guess I do want to ask, like, how did this all, first of all, did you get into running marathons first or jumping rope, or both? Like, what was the first thing?
No, so running was the first thing. I started running about 4 or 5 years ago. That quickly changed into trail running. I did pretty well at trail running, but with all the training, I got injuries. I heard that jumping rope is good for recovery. So I went to the gym and I said, right, today is the day that I'm going to start jump roping. And I'm a creature of variety. So this consistently drove me nuts. I got bored pretty quickly. And I'm like, wait, I love running. I can jump rope. Why don't I just see if I can do this in the studio? Dip, 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 up and down, up and down. And it came pretty naturally. I thought, well, people probably do this. I realized people don't actually do this. That led to me going to a secluded little isolated road somewhere where no one could see me. And I added a kilometer or a mile to it. And I thought, if I can do this, then maybe I can do it longer. This is the runner's sickness, I guess. That's not a sickness, it's an illness, a runner's illness, that we chase goals consistently. I'm going to do 1K or 1 mile, and then it's 3 miles, and then it's 5 miles and 8 miles and 10 miles. And before you know it, you're doing marathons and ultra marathons, and you only started with a mile,
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the same with jump roping as well, or rope running. I call it rope running. That's what I do.
Isn't it? It's kind of interesting how like jump rope has, it started out like not very, like when I started this channel, it wasn't talked about as much. And now there's so many different parts of jump rope. There's sports competition. And now you've basically created a new one, rope running, new genre.
Thank you. A dream of mine would be to run all the world majors, jump roping all the world majors like Boston Marathon, New York, Sydney, London, you name it, Tokyo, in doing jump rope and being the first person to do this. So that is a dream. But the ultimate dream would be to create a new Olympic sport. Imagine jump roping or rope running as an Olympic sport. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome.
I think it's something that's very athletically challenging. So I don't see any reason why it couldn't become an Olympic sport. So how many races have you done?
So races, official races, I think I've done 5 official ones rope running, but I have run probably about 5 to 6 half marathons in rope running. I've done 1 marathon as a qualifier for 2 Oceans, which was the ultra marathon, and that was a 56 kilometer, which is a 35-mile run, and that is preparation for the ultimate human race, which is the Comrades Marathon, and that's held in South Africa on the 8th of June, and that will be a 55-mile rope run for me.
That's the big one.
That's the big one. That's still coming up, yeah.
Okay, so I got to ask, just as an endurance athlete myself, how do you prepare with your diet to do these runs? Like, what types of foods do you eat leading up to the race?
That's a great question. And I can see why it comes from your side. So I'm not one to really follow diets because I know what works for my body and what doesn't. I know I need to fuel it correctly. I love meat. So I just kind of gravitate towards meats and vegetables, etc. But I allow myself treats and chocolates and chips and all those things because I work my butt off, really. So like, Marissa, you deserve this, girl. You can go for it. But I do ensure that I get all my minerals and vitamins in because it takes a toll in your body. If you do all these endurance races, your immune system gets a knock and you need to help it get up there again. Yeah. So I try and adhere to a healthy lifestyle. But for me, it's a thing of balance. Just have a balanced diet and a balanced life, and things will be okay for you in terms of that. Too much of this or too much of that or too little, that never works and it's not sustainable. And I can't work like that. So for me, it works just to balance out my life.
I love that. That's the same philosophy that we have here. Like, I think if you're someone who's trying to like lose a certain amount of weight and you're not running marathons, then like, your diet needs to be, a little bit more on point. But the thing that fortunately or unfortunately that I've found with like doing endurance sports is like, sometimes I need to just eat like, I don't know, like a tasty cake, like basically just like sugary, like Pop-Tart type stuff, but you burn all of it and you need it. Okay. So June 8th is the big one now, but you not only do this, but you do this for a cause. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I saw like on your Instagram profile, you have, human trafficking is real. So I just wanted to ask you about that. Like what causes this supporting and what, any details on that?
Thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. Just going back a few steps, this rope running thing that I now seemingly have started, when I started it and when I realized that this is drawing attention, I immediately thought that this is the ideal platform for some good to come out of this. And I don't necessarily enjoy or invite attention on me. I couldn't be bothered, really. But if this is a proper foundation and a platform for something to create awareness and make people or open people's eyes to the realities of the underbelly of what's going on in the world, then absolutely bring on attention and awareness, etc. So rope running has become that platform for me. So just going back a few years, my folks, they lived in Asia, and my mum got involved in an organization that helps restore women that had been trafficked and horrific things that had happened to them, etc., and restoring dignity to them and just giving them a second chance at life. And you could see the radiance on their faces of somebody that believed in them, somebody that saved them, and how horrific their life may have been to what it is now. And the fact that they had a second chance was amazing, and it hit so hard. And in that, I realized, wow, this is significant. And only now that I have something where I can use this as a platform, I realize it is an unspoken thing. People hear about it. There's a movie, Taken, and all of that was a great kind of an awareness of these things are happening. I think it's the sound of, or the voice of silence, or the sound of freedom. Sorry, that's the other one. That kind of brings light to it, but there's no real tangible thing that people can latch onto and say, oh, actually, this makes sense. Let me read into this. Anyways, long story short, was very close to my heart. And I thought, if I was going to support an organization or a cause, it would be human trafficking, because I have seen firsthand what it means to people, So I've partnered with an organization called Love Justice International, and the founders are actually in the States, and they're
nice.
all over the world. I think it's 20 countries in on the globe. It's such a beautiful organization and a very innovative approach, where they call it transit monitoring, where they intercept the victims before they even get trafficked. So these guys would be abducted, etc., heading to borders, etc., and then they've got guys on the ground like ninjas scouting and seeing, and they would save those guys and get to the perpetrators before harm could get to them, which is very innovative, and it's a new approach to protecting lives from human trafficking, as opposed to having to save people from the trauma and then dealing with that. And that hit home for me. And they also, their head office is in Durban, in Ballito. So my friend was involved, and I shared a bit of my heart with the rope running, and it was just such a divine connection, and it flowed so easily that is what happened after a while. I took hands, and now it's the rope runner and Love Justice fighting human trafficking together.
I love that. And we'll be sure to put a link up where people can make sure that to access that information and follow your journey and all that. So that's really, really awesome. And I'm like, I feel, I personally don't know too much about that specific issue. I just know that it's something that I know for a fact that people don't realize how prevalent it is across countries. And, I think sometimes people think that's a thing of the past, but it's still a very big issue. So it's cool to see it's cool to see you shedding light on it, but also in the way that you're doing it is so unique. So I feel like that will bring, just more attention to it from like a different perspective or different demographic.
It's a good way, and it's a soft approach. It's not a in-your-face gory thing. It's a soft approach to helping you. If you feel like your life has no significance or what have you, that's a lie, because everybody's life carries significance. You just unlock it. But everyone has the power to make a difference in a life, So even if it's in this regard, you are making a difference.
I love that.
So I'm very grateful for it.
Or, what was your background before this? Like before you got into rope running, like what was your job? So
believe it or not, rope running isn't my permanent job. It's kind of a hobby.
Yet.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I'll take that. I'm a business owner, so I manufacture furniture and outdoor fire pits and all of that. I have 2 kids as well. I, with mates, we organize a massive trail event. I run other things. So I've got quite a few balls in the air, and it's a careful juggle to balance life, rope running, business, family, all of these things. And I'm navigating my way through it. So yeah, busy. Yeah.
How do you train for what's your training regimen? Are you doing like only running and then only skipping, or is it always rope running?
No, great question. So again, just stepping back a bit, when I had that injury and I started just jump roping in the gym, etc., I also engaged quite a bit in strength training and getting on a bike and cycling and just combining my training routine, because I realized that running it only recruits certain muscles in your body and it fatigues you. And you need to strengthen your muscles. You need to build endurance. And there's a lot of things that's beneficial to that. So now I'm having a similar approach to rope running. Because to be fair, I can't phone anybody and say, hey, how did you do rope running when you started out?
Yeah.
I'm kind of creating it.
Marissa,
let's do what worked. So what I am doing is I'm including strength training. I'm doing spinning or cycling on a static bike. I do just consistent stationary skipping to build endurance in my arms, because that gets quite tired. I mean, after the 35 miles, I think I was rope running for 7 hours. That equates to skipping for 7 hours the whole time. So your arms get really tired.
what rope are you using?
It's called a speed rope. In fact, I've got it around my neck. You must be familiar with this. So it looks like this. And it's a wire with a plastic sleeving around it. And it's quite agile. And, it's supposed to these sloppy leather ropes or whatever. And each to their own. But this is nice. And it's got light handles so it doesn't chow into my arms. And I'm making my own ropes now because this is not stock standard. There's a specific mechanism to this where the handle can't move. It's stable. So I need to really trademark the rope runner handle. Because it's unique.
I was going to say, not many jump ropes are made. Like, I'm thinking about, because I use a cross rope and I'm like, there's no way I could spin a 1/4 pound cross rope for like even an hour. Like your shoulders would just fall off. So I imagine the rope has to be specific specs to jump for 7 straight hours. Like it has to be designed very specifically.
So it's lean, etc. But when I do endurance training in the gym, I'll go with the heaviest rope that I can find so that I can build that endurance in my arms and my back. My style of running has changed quite a bit. As a normal runner using their arms, I'm now running like kind of these dressage horses that run up straight. If you have a look on my Instagram, you'll see I run quite straight. So my back is straight. I engage all my lats, my delts, core, arms, you name it. Like every muscle in my body is engaged. My calves, toes are obliterated because it's consistent. It's toe strike the whole time. So it's a different approach. And I need to be mindful to train all these muscles so that they don't get fatigued, that this guy feels undertrained because that guy took all the the time. So it's a thing.
Have you dealt with any injuries on not like your previous injury, but like just in training, or like with your feet, toes, anything like that?
Not really. Superficial injuries. So toes, I have lost a few toenails just because of the mere striking of the toe. So I exchange my ropes. I have to exchange them quite frequently because who knew that ropes were used on tar, right? Who does that? So when the plastic after a while wears through, you get the wire coming through and that starts hacking into your skin and it draws blood. So I have a specific video on Instagram and I think on TikTok where you could see how my calves have been. It's just blood everywhere. And I've learned to exchange my ropes. So for 2 Oceans marathon or ultra marathon, I used 2 ropes. Wasn't enough. And for comrades, I'll probably be using 5 ropes because it's 20 kilometers that a rope lasts me. And that will be nearly 90 kilometers, which is 55 miles. So yeah, changing ropes often and frequently.
I love that you figured out how long it takes for a rope to, you're like, no, at the 20 kilometer mark, that's when it goes.
Yeah. It's funny because it starts hooking into socks and it grabs me on my head and it grabs me. I'm like, something's up here. Oh, wait, the rope needs to be changed. It is retired now. So I run with a backpack. It's a hydration pack. I've got my liquid carbs that I run with and all the things. And then when the rope starts hacking onto my legs, I change it. And it depends on the plastic, to be fair. Some of them are better. They last 30 kilometers. I don't know what that in miles is. And others only last 20 kilometers. So, yeah.
Was there ever a point when you're doing one of these, maybe with like the first few, where you were like, what am I doing? Like, this is a lot, or no?
Every time. Every time I'm like, what are you doing, Marissa? Why did you saddle yourself up for this ridicule? So yes, very much. But it's funny, being the first person to ever do this, and now having the running fraternity acknowledge who I am, and the word's getting out there, and people are so inspired, and they are now starting things, and it's wonderful. I get so much support and encouragement. I feel like there's quite a bit of pressure on me personally. I'm like, Marissa, well, you doing this, girl, so you need to follow through that. Plus, everybody's like, oh, chomping at the bit. Is she? Isn't she? What is she going to do? Will she? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. So the expectation is a lot on me, and I am competitive by nature. So I set these goals and like, well, yes, let's go for them. There's been a lot of what am I doing? But it always comes down to the reason why I do it, which is, Marissa, yes, come on, we can do this, because every step is a step towards your goal of protecting lives. So I've got a massive goal that I need to reach, which is, I think it's about 28,000 US dollars. And that only equates to 200 lives. And I've set out this year, well, you know what, I'm going to do this ridiculous thing, have this ridiculous goal. And every step is going to be towards reaching the goal and creating awareness. So that is a massive expectation on me that I've placed on me.
But you seem like ready to take it on. Like, I feel like, I don't know, even just looking at your Instagram, I'm like, this is the rope runner. And I'm glad that I'm getting this interview now before you blow up, like big,
Thank you. Shishna, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just think your story is super cool. Like, I just love people doing unique things with jump rope. And I think it's cool how we can, there's so many different areas of jump rope. Like, I'm really into the fitness aspect of it and weighted rope training. There's speed rope training. Like I was talking about, sport training, tricks, dancing, tutorial, it's like jump rope has become much just more diverse, which I think is cool.
I mean, the things that you do, and I can see you inspire so many people to just get on with it, Today is the day that you start, and it has taken you how long to get where you are today? It's taken me how long? But in the span of eternity, it's such a short time. And that's my thing with people as well is, motivation can take you that far, but discipline is the thing that's going to help you reach your goals. So if you are disciplined every single day and just do what you can, you will reach that eventually. And it does take time. It is.
I think that's the thing that a lot of people, they get afraid of the word discipline, and discipline can mean exactly what you just said. It just means do something every day. It just means be consistent. It doesn't mean like you need to do everything. Like you need to wake up at 5 a.m. You need to eat perfectly. You need to work out perfectly. You need to be super motivated to do it. I like that you added that, because I feel like a lot of people who are trying to get fit or start something new they're like, oh, discipline. But it's like, no. Just start being consistent with certain habits. And then once you get that down, it's easier to add other habits that then become a part of like a routine, and it seems like you've built that really well.
Look, as you know, it wasn't easy. And there were some days where I felt like, oh, I can't be bothered, and I could just quit right now. And I'm so glad I didn't, because looking back now, it's been months now and it's been consistent. But some days I did nothing and I'm okay with that. Other days I did more than I expected. And that was a win for me, So people just need to take the pressure off themselves, and they need to block out the noise of the outside world and the expectations of everybody, and just do what is in your hands to do. If you feel like today you are going to run 15 minutes, and that's all you have capacity for, that is a win because you actually did that. And that is what it comes down to at the end of the day. Or you jump rope for 5 minutes or a song. That's how I started. I started with a 5-minute song consistently, and now I jump rope for whatever 7 hours, and I'll be going for 12 hours in a few months. That is what discipline in that regard and consistency does. But it's little bites.
It's so true. Just building that habit consistently every day. And then like people wonder, like, how do you get up to 7 hours jumping rope? It's like, well, you kind of just do it a lot, like year after year, and then that's how you run for 7 hours straight, you know?
Yeah, exactly. One day I'll do 100-miler and I'll be like, oh, comrades, that was a training run.
I actually was going to ask you that. I was like, okay, you're doing 55. Why not eventually do that? What do they call those? Like the 100-milers?
Yeah, it's the milers, I think it's what it is. So I know it from the trail running industry, where they have these 100-milers, and it's 160 kilometers, which is insane. And they've got a 100-miler road run in South Africa called Washi, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but that may be another goal. But before I take that on, and I'm sure one day I will be, because that's just how I'm wired, I would like to do international marathons, because that'll give me a global platform for awareness. Because again, coming back to the human trafficking, it affects everybody. It has no face, human trafficking, and it affects the entire globe. And if I had the capacity to spread the news and create awareness all over, I would love to do that. And doing that through rope running, why not? Who's that crazy person? What is she doing? Let's find out, take a photo, and then and then take it from there. So yes, that's the dream.
I love that. Other question: what shoes do you wear when you're doing this?
When I'm training or when I'm running?
When you're running, like what type of shoe? Is it a running shoe, basketball? Yeah.
Right, yeah. So it's a running shoe, and it's a long distance running shoe. I'm not one for specific brands, because there are many brands out there, and each for their own. Like, I've got different feet to anybody else, so whatever works for my feet, but it's a long distance trainer or running shoe, and it's brilliant. It works well for me. And I have, with the 35 miles that I've rope ran, I had 2 sets of shoes, one that I started out with and the other one that I ended with. So the first pair that I ran with, I was drawn to them because of their color, and you'll see my colors are high vis. You can see high vis everything. This is my logo.
Nice.
The rope runner.
I like that.
And it's because I need to be so visible so people can see me. Thank you. I might just send you a signed copy. How's that? Would you like that?
I love that. No, seriously, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate that.
I'll send you one. Coming back to the point, though, I was drawn to the shoes because they were that color. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So I got them, and they are brilliant. But they are carbon. They've got carbon rods, and they're specifically formalized for elite runners who run with a heck of a lot of speed. And rope running is everything but speed. I've soon realized that I need to have a comfortable shoe that can go the distance without having to put pressure on me in terms of speed wise. So that's why I changed it, and it works for me. But long story short, it's a proper running shoe.
Gotcha. And I didn't even ask
you.
Not
a basketball shoe.
Yeah. I was sorry. After I asked that question, I was like, duh, Dan, like they're long. She's not doing this she's not doing this in construction boots. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. How long does it take you to do a regular marathon, which is, like, I don't know what it is I think it's like 50 kilometers, 26.2 miles, I think it is. Like, how long does it take to do, like, just, regular marathon?
Having only done one rope running marathon, it took me 4 hours and 38 minutes, which the cutoff is 5 hours if you want to qualify for the ultra marathons, which is then 2 Oceans and Comrades. 2 Oceans, it was 35 miles, and the cutoff was 7 hours. I made it in 6 hours and 50 minutes or something ridiculous like that. So I just made it. And Comrades is, you have a 12-hour. So I'm gunning for 11:50 thereabouts. Can you imagine 11 hours or 12 hours of doing this?
Yeah.
So
Man. Is there a way to live stream the race? Like, will it be live on the internet?
Yes, I think because it's such a massive race, I think they've got 24,000 athletes running this year. There will
Nice.
be live coverage all over. It should be on YouTube. It's on our local sport channels. But I've also got a tracking number. So if people wanted to track me, I'll put it on Instagram and TikTok and whatever, and Facebook, so that if they want to follow the link, they can see how I'm doing. And no doubt I'll make a bit of news or be featured live, etc. Not quite sure yet how that's going to work. I may just do a bit of a selfie and say, hey guys, I'm still here, just to
Yeah.
note to self, say hi. But for the rest of it, it should be covered fully. I'll send you the details.
Yes, please do. And I was going to say, I really appreciate having you on. I wanted to just have this be a short kind of get to know you interview. We don't have to, your time is valuable. Don't want to keep you on here for like super long. And I know the viewers at this day and age of YouTube, people want quick content, short and sweet. Attention spans are low.
Get to the question, so get to the point.
I figured we'd wind this down by how can people find you? Like, what is all your, and I'll be sure to include like all of your links and Instagram and all that, but just so people, where can they track what you're doing?
I guess I'm pretty active on all the social platforms. In my mind, they are most of the social platforms, which is Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, really. I do have some videos on YouTube. I'm not that big on YouTube yet because I'm still finding my feet. Maybe I need to have a YouTube tutorial from you.
Happy to.
And that's just, I've set all of these things up because I anticipated this becoming bigger than I think. And I'm going to have all these platforms ready to go when it needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
So all four of them: TikTok, Instagram. Instagram is probably the biggest at this stage. TikTok growing, Facebook quite nice, and then YouTube needs some love and care. As the rope runner.
The rope runner. And how can people support your cause? Is that in the bio of your Instagram? Like the cause to support what you're doing?
Yes.
Cool.
Correct. So that would be, there's a link. It goes to we call it a back a buddy, like you back your buddy account. And on there's the goal that I've set out and what I've done thus far. And if people would love to contribute, I ask people, I'm not expecting a lot. For me, it's, if you want to pledge $1 per mile that I complete or per kilometer that I complete, it's going to be, I don't know what, $55 out of your pocket. It's not a lot. I don't know if it's a lot in dollars, but, or $20 or $10 or whatever you can afford, but just in that, I'm merely the face and the front runner of this whole new thing. Everybody that gets into this and supports is protecting lives themselves. So everybody is making a difference. And I want to bring that home and say, guys, if you want to be the person that actually protects lives, just do it. Do it through the Back a Buddy account. Do it through supporting the Rope Runner. Go and have a look at Love Justice and what they stand for. Follow them on Instagram and follow them on Facebook. And get involved if you want to, if your heart's there.
Love it. Love it. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I think that there's going to be I think after you do this big one, there's going to be some more rope runners popping up on the internet. If not already, I'm sure there are.
I hope so. Cool. You know what? I look forward to meeting rope runners. I'm probably going to have a rope run world run and we're going to all do it together. How's that? I think you need to start rope running, Dan.
I was going to say, I could see like a video collab where you teach me how to do it and then I fail miserably. And then I'm just like, okay, well, let's just watch you do it instead. I'll just film in the car. I'll just like record it.
I'm going to hold you to this when I'm in the States, or even if it's online, we'll do a collab and I'll teach you and you teach me a few things.
I'm always down for the challenge. So I'm always down to embarrass myself. So I'm in. I like it.
Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to just tell your story. And like I said, I love just like chatting with people who are doing cool stuff in the world of jump rope. So Marissa, thank you so much for being on today. Everyone that's watching this, make sure to go check Marissa out on across the internet. And June 8th is the big day. Mark the calendar. So thank you so much for coming on today.
No pressure. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.